Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with of human race. And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of
Good evening, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. It is Wednesday in the year of our Lord, October the 17th, in the year of our Lord, 2012. And we are here. Tune in. We're still working on the call-in feature. I didn't think it was going to be this difficult, but, you know, hey, I am not a techie. And Spreaker does have its limitations on how you can connect with it. Now, I know the boys at Conservative Blue Show, they seem to have gotten their issue with that straightened out, but I'm not... You know, when I bought these new computers, they weren't like the top of the line stuff at the time, but they weren't the cheapest models either. But, you know, they weren't all that expensive as far as computers are concerned. But I think that they were missing certain components. And I don't, you know, me being a neophyte when it comes to computers, I don't know what I did. I had, and of course, you know, with my ISP provider, Comcast, I ran into a number of technical issues that kind of shut me down the past couple of days, which was okay. I did learn a lot, but I don't think I quite got the hang of it. So in a couple of weeks, I think what I'm going to do is just have somebody that I know that I really admire and respect and trust actually reconfigure all this, because I had everything really configured towards the other service, Blog Talk Radio. And I think what I need to do is have him come back out here and just reconfigure everything towards the Spreaker and all things not Blog Talk Radio. So we will, again, things will always get... See, we got better by switching over here to Spreaker. The CB Media Network switched over to Spreaker, which has been a boon. I mean, the sound quality is absolutely amazing. And I can actually easily edit my shows. So in other words, I can actually easily pull out things that I say, and other people can easily pull out things that I say and post them. So they don't have to listen to the whole broadcast. They know exactly where I'm saying it, and they can go and pull it out, and then we can just use those as sound clips. And it works great, because I did that. If you the website is live, and it'll be updated after the show. It should be live update about an hour after the show closes, because everything that I say on the show, plus other stuff that'll back up what I say on the show, is going to be posted. So, and we'll probably be pulling clips from the sound bites from the show and pasting it on the putting it on the website. Yeah, a lot of great stuff is happening over at www.rodeccles.com. So Take a look at all that stuff. Now, I know what's on everybody's mind at the moment. And it's the debate last night. And there were some exciting exchanges there a few times. I mean, where the president and the contender, if you will, really sort of looked at each other and went with. The rest of the audience was kind of like a blur to them at those particular instances where they actually went at each other one-on-one. Now, I see a lot of the responses, and I saw a lot of the responses. Let me give you my take on the debate, because I hear a lot of this stuff. Well, Obama won. Well, let me say that Obama actually showed up last night. He did. He looked a lot more alive. He sounded, for Obama, he definitely sounded a lot more coherent. But it didn't change his tact about all the lies, but that we'll get into that. But he still was, off the prompter. He still had that Ivy League intellectual type of stuttering speech. And a number of times, both candidates, a number of times, especially Obama, did not directly answer the questions that were asked of them by either the moderator or the people in the audience. Now, a lot of people are trying to say today that, Obama won the point. Yeah, he won the debate, points. But then you look at all the polls that have been done, and we'll get into those too a little bit later, and it shows that the people that really count right now, which are the undecideds or people on the fence or who really weren't sure, maybe they weren't undecided, but they were leaning toward if the election were the day before the debate, they would probably vote for Obama or they would probably vote for Romney. After the debate, those types of people, in poll after poll and survey after survey, shows that a significant number, an overwhelming majority, came down for Romney. So did Obama really win? If you're going to measure it by who scored the most points, okay, maybe Obama did win, but I don't look at the debates like in high school or college. This isn't a point system. What counts are the people that you persuade to your side, the votes that you're going to get. So at this juncture, it looks like Romney won it hands down. Now, people ask me, well, Rod, who do you think won? I said, it doesn't really matter. Now, I'm going to be frank. It doesn't really matter because we, the people, just lost. That's what you've got to. I look at this whole thing totally differently. You have got to focus on something totally different. The mainstream media and the two parties have got you focused on the wrong thing. It isn't really about who is more presidential and who would be a better president. It's about who would do the least or the most to you. Who would preserve freedom more? Who would allow you to live as an American more? And quite frankly, it's not Obama. But we don't have a big win with Romney either. Now, I want people to fully understand this. Yes, this is another one of those things where it's picking the lesser of two evils. You have no other choice. I got Gary Johnson. No, you don't have Gary Johnson. A vote for Gary Johnson is a vote for Obama. Plain and simple. You don't have him. Not to mention Gary, I've listened to Gary Johnson. I just heard him on an interview yesterday before the debate. He was sounding like a nut job. Now, I hate to say it, but there were some good points that he was making as far as, taxation and spending and that type of thing and constitution, legalities and things like that. But then he went off the deep end, kind of like, a few other people that we know. A good doctor of ours from Texas. And talking about, we don't need to spend money on the military. Really? Has he looked at China lately? We don't need the military isn't even asking for this spending increase. Well, of course not. The military doesn't ask for anything. If you go back to Ronald Reagan, when Ronald Reagan increased the defense budget, the military wasn't asking for an increase. They don't. They never did. They're not into politics. No, they have toys, if you will, that they would like to have or develop, but they work with whatever budget that you give them. Now, it can only go, if you limit their budget, obviously it can only go so far. But the military brass hasn't come to the president and say, "Oh, Mr. President, in Congress, please increase our allowance." That's not what they do. So this whole notion, I'm just tired on every side. I'm tired of the misrepresentations. I'm tired of the misleading crap. I just want people to finally tell the American people the absolute, unadulterated truth. Just the unadulterated truth. Look, there is no way in hell you can balance the budget by raising taxes on the wealthy. No way. There is no way. Look, it's not a revenue problem. We already know that if you lower the tax rate to a certain level, it's going to increase economic activity, which means there are going to be more people paying taxes, which increases money to the Treasury coffers, which is how under Reagan and under Bush too, we've had, huge increases in the Treasury revenue. They both lower taxes. Wait a minute. How do you pay for that? How do you pay for that? The Treasury got more money. The problem is spending, folks. It isn't because the rich aren't paying their fair share. And this whole thing that Romney was going through, my tax plan, the rich are not going to pay any less than the top 5% are still going to pay the 60% of the burden. Is that insane? We're just going to lower the rates? Yeah, I fully understand the rate lower. And for those of you who don't, well, let me explain rates to you so you understand, Lucy. Now, he gave a good example, but he didn't push it hard. Look, there were so many things last night that Obama left himself open on. Mitt could have spent 60 minutes just on refuting what Obama said. And, the debate was roughly 90 minutes. So he wouldn't have gotten any time, really, to talk about himself or answer any question. He could have spent easily at least an hour on refuting what Obama said and proving that what Obama said, there are a bunch of lies in there and other stuff. But you have to understand that here's the real thing. On taxes, they play the social card on you, the social class. We have this class warfare in our country, which should not exist, simply because in this country, by the choices one makes and by the amount of work that they do or do not do, one can easily move themselves from one social class or social economic structure to another without getting permission from anyone. If you want to be a part of the wealthy class, you can do it. Anybody can. And for them to say, well, there's no opportunity. Really, there's no opportunity. Can I ask you, how is it if there's no opportunity? Let's just use a couple of examples for blacks. How is it that P. Diddy and Jay-Z can be worth hundreds of millions of dollars? They came from the projects, the inner city. They didn't have silver spoons in their mouths. They didn't live in the suburbs. They lived in the inner city, the grit, the projects. That's where they grew up. They were out in the streets getting, fighting, surviving, probably getting arrested, doing drugs, all kinds of stuff. That's where hell, we got some R&B